Hi guys, today we're going to talk about the first 6 weeks after the hospital stay. If you didn't see the previous video, I will link it somewhere on the screen. So at week 6, the home care that I had was going to be scaled down. So each person was only going to come like once per week. So this brings us to the first surgery appointment.
After the surgery itself.
And so this would be my first time outside of my apartment building.
Yep.
Yep. And we got a medical ride, which is basically just a van that comes picks you up by your insurance. Those are not fun to be in and whatever, but I couldn't drive and he doesn't drive, so that's what we had to do.
It was free through the insurance.
That too.
So look into that if that's available.
So you don't have to do Uber.
Yep.
So I still, at this point, I still couldn't make it.
All the way down your hallway.
All the way down the hallway.
We did not have a wheelchair at our disposal. So if you need to travel any great distance,
in hindsight, get a wheelchair.
Strongly advise to set that up because what we ended up doing, I do not recommend and I'm not endorsing, but you know, necessity is the mother of invention.
Desperate times call for desperate measures.
So I just used the apartment cart, which is like a utility cart.
Yep, with 2 levels.
With 2 levels. Big plastic utility cart on wheels, and put some pillows in that and had her step on some boxes to get into it and pushed her down the hallway to the elevator.
All the way down to the car.
It was absolutely unadvisable.
And
but,
we thought that this was going to be less painful than walking down the hallway, which it maybe was, but
it was.
But
we got us there faster.
Getting on and off of the contraption was not better than walking down there.
No, and then when we got to the hospital from the med ride, we used the wheelchair there, you know, and so think ahead, you know, for that one.
So there was a lot of crying and a lot of anxiety and a lot of moodiness this day, especially because I was supposed to get my restrictions lifted, maybe. The surgeon, this is the first appointment where the surgeon tells you if you're healing right or not, because this is the first time you get more x-rays since you left the hospital.
This is, you know, this is the go-to guy in charge, you know. So there was a lot leading up to this day of 6 weeks, because he's the one that you turn to let you know everything is okay. Everything is going to be okay. So, you know, there was a lot built up to this. So you said you had prepared a bunch of questions to see him, you know, and yeah, it was a big milestone to go see him. And again, the reassurance, because, you know, he was a great surgeon and he's very comforting and extremely knowledgeable. So it was great to go see him and check in and have him look at it and just give you the thumbs up and say, oh.
And he answers all my questions and makes sure I understand everything that's happening. So my restrictions are generally lifted after 6 weeks, but because I was in so much pain and I literally couldn't do anything, my restrictions still weren't lifted. And so I couldn't start PT, and I still couldn't take any anti-inflammatories. So I couldn't take my turmeric for pain. So that was really a bummer that I still can't do anything. I still can't bend. I still can't lift. I still can't do anything, which means he still can't go back to work. So for another 6 weeks.
Right. So, but it was really great to know, because like you said, you had your x-rays and it was...
Oh, here's the x-ray, by the way. This is what it looks like, but bam.
But it was great to get the reassurance from the surgeon that everything looks as it should be. Everything looks great. He looked at the scar, the incision, and everything looks great. It's just, you know, the precaution of, I'm not going to lift your restrictions because of the pain and things like that. But no, everything was right on track. It's just a long track. So this was your first x-ray after leaving, you know, from your surgery. And when he put them up side by side,
he put like the one from before and the one from after.
Before the surgery, so what you lived with and then what the correction did. And when I saw these two things side by side, it was so overwhelming for me.
And me.
And you as well.
Yeah.
To see the before and afters, because, you know.
You don't realize how messed up something was until it's fixed.
Yeah.
Let's just say that. It's crazy. Wow.
So that kind of brings us to the end of this first phase, wrapping, things up. I'm sure we left out tons of things, but it's overwhelming. So in summary, some of the tips and advice that I can give for the caregivers and for the person receiving the care is, above all, try to maintain positivity throughout this,
with TV shows, even movies, with someone being a goofball with you,
laughing,
except for laughing hurts, so you just have to bear with it, because that's laughing is medicine.
Exactly. Anything to just keep the energy light. Stay away from any news, anything that is going to bring you down, anything that's going to stress you out. Just block out the outside world for your recuperation. Block it out. Just escapism is all you want to do. Escapism, whatever works for you. Comedy, I think, and laughter is the best medicine in terms of maintaining your energy and your vibrations up, keeping that stuff really high.
Yeah.
So important.
Because that's all you can really do is watch TV.
It is. And, for that caregiver, you just really got to bear in mind, it's not about you. It is not about you at all. And you really have to overlook everything, because it's going to be challenging. You've got to remember that the person you're caring for is going through an life-shattering experience. And so sometimes that frustration is going to be taken out. It's just going to be expressed. And you got to bear in mind, it's not being directed at you. It's just, frustration. So again, you got to be selfless, 100% selfless in this.
There was a lot of times in it where I just got so angry, for no reason. I was just so frustrated with the situation that I was in, and I couldn't do anything about it. Nothing was getting better. I was in so much pain. And I'm gonna do a separate video on the pain, because it's a lot.
And the other thing is to focus on micro goals and set micro goals for little things, and don't overlook anything. Don't minimalize anything, because that adds up. Those little things really add up. Yeah,
getting up on your own, taking your first step, holding the spoon yourself when you can feed yourself a couple of bites, and then you get tired, and then they do the rest. It's every small increment of improvement is a huge deal when you start completely
learning how to be again.
Incapable.
When you start to learn how to do these things and walk and talk
learning how to walk again.
So you just have to celebrate all of these little things. And it may sound stupid if you're with an adult, and especially if you're with a child, you got to celebrate these things. But even if you're with an adult, so what? You got to celebrate these little things and really acknowledge it, because it's encouragement. It's encouragement. And not only that, it will break up the monotony, and it will show some type of progression, because you're going to get stuck in your own mind. You're going to get stuck in your own head, and you need to bring some things from the outside world that will show some type of linear progression, that, look, hey, things are moving, things are progressing, because you're not going to have big goals. It's not going to be like, oh, tomorrow I'm going for this walk.
Yeah, no, I learned that the hard way, because I couldn't go for a walk. I couldn't dance around the apartment. I couldn't take a bath. I couldn't do anything that I wanted to do, which is not sit on the couch and watch TV.
And it's really about, it's a mountain to try to climb, and you don't just go from the foot of the mountain to the top of the mountain in one leap.
Yes, it is very up and then really down and then up a little bit and then down and then really up and then down, and then it's a roller coaster of the time, and your emotions will just take control of you and make you cry randomly and make you really upset and frustrated randomly, or make you really sad randomly. The emotions are just all wonky, because your body is trying to heal you right now, and it doesn't have enough energy to heal you and keep control of your emotions. So it needs to do it needs to like choose where it's expending its energy.
Yeah, which, you know, kind of leads me to the final thing that I want to say, and this is just food for thought, you know, do your own thing, but diet is very important. Your body's trying to heal, and so you want to be able to feed it what it needs to heal, you know.
High protein.
Yep. High protein, and you
high
got
liquids.
a lot of liquids. You got to stay hydrated.
Yep.
So try to eat as healthy as possible. Stay away from any processed food. Stay away from the sugars. You know, stay away from, you know, if you can, coffee. You know, caffeine. Anything that's gonna like deplete your immune system.
I don't think we could have caffeine for the first 6 weeks.
I don't think you were even interested in caffeine.
I wasn't even interested in coffee for the first 6 weeks.
But
lots of protein, lots of nutrients, lots of greens,
Yep.
lots of fluids. Like I basically only had homemade soup and smoothies, and that's it.
Greens, grains, and protein
Yep.
is what we're feeding you. And so whatever diet works for you, but just bear in mind that your body is going to need that,
all of its energy.
Yeah, it's going to need that extra stuff. It's not just like walking around every day. Bear in mind, you know, your body is drawing from within itself to help heal, and I strongly believe that really helped your healing process.
I would also like to say that because your body is healing, it needs a lot more nutrients than your normal body would need. And so if you are going to start eating a lot. Like I was eating whole pots of soup, and you'll still feel hungry. And I was eating whole pots of soup. I was having snacks all the time.
Feed it.
Your body needs all of the nutrients it can possibly get. So I gained like 10 pounds from the recovery, and that's what it needed to do in order to heal and get all of the nutrients it needed to heal your body. So if you feel like you're gaining weight, if you feel like you're eating too much, that's okay.
Yeah, it is. It really
okay.
is. And it's important to say too that you don't eat processed food and you don't eat snacks and stuff like that. This was simply from feeding your body for the healing process, you know, and plus anxiety and stress too, and that's going to consume energy within you too. So it's important to bear in mind this recovery process as a holistic journey, that your body, your mind, and your spirit all need to be fortified, encouraged, and addressed and supported, you know, because you are all one. And if you support all of these things, your recovery is going to be so much better. Your journey is going to be so much better, you know, for you.
So next time we're going to talk about the next 6 weeks. Stay tuned for that. And like and comment and subscribe and do all the YouTube things. And we will see you guys next time. All right. Bye-bye.